Good news is they'll be quiet for the next at least probably couple of days anyway in that area. So some good news there. But
around here,
not quiet
active.
here.
Yeah.
And we've got Bob Martin up, in Sky News 13. Here we go. And, you know, the way the city is structured, many of you know this who have lived here for a long time, is that obviously you've got to have some diversion channels to be able to go ahead and drain that water out of the Sandias, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Because of the way the city slopes, you got to have the proper diversion channels, but boy, when you take all that rain, likely what we're going to end up with here is about 1.25 to an inch and a half of rain that fell within an hour. And so you've got to drain that out of the city in some of these main channels, and that's what we're seeing right here. And obviously this ends up being a very dangerous situation for anybody who's in the area. So please, when we say stay out of the arroyos, this is the kind of scenario that we're talking about. Stay clear of this stuff. Now, I do think we're going to drain this out in fairly short order, and then we'll get a break from some of the storms, and then the possibility of a few more tonight and over the weekend will definitely be with us. But you guys know how this works. The hit and miss nature of this stuff means 1 minute it's incredibly dry. The next minute, we're talking about major league flooding problems. And here's a look at that storm as it came through. Now, part of the issue with this particular storm was the fact that it only moved 10 miles an hour through the city. So that gave it plenty of time to dump all that rain, which it did within an hour, starting around 3 o'clock and going till around 4:30 or so. Here's a look at what's going on with the watches and warnings. They're now off the board for the metro area because the storms have now pushed to the south over Valencia County and lost some intensity. Storm really bombed out right over Albuquerque, and then as it went to the south, it really started to calm down, split up, and see things die down. But as you get up to Santa Fe, they've had about an inch of rain in some areas this afternoon. More strong storms just to the northeast of Santa Fe. So we are going to still watch these storms because the directional flow is off the northern mountains toward the metro area, and that is picture perfect to draw in strong thunderstorms. So we'll wait and see how that shakes out and see if we can get a few more here. But if we don't get them tonight, there's a possibility of getting them tomorrow and Sunday because we've got a lot of juice in the atmosphere to work with. It's 68 degrees in the metro area, cool down nicely thanks to the rain. 70s off to the north for the most part, some 80s and some 90s in areas where we haven't seen rain. It's the same deal down to the south where it's been a quieter day storm-wise down here. Yeah, we've had some clouds, but not a lot in the way of showers. Most of the focus for the thunderstorm formation has been off the northern mountains. So what we're going to get is more scattered storms around the area, especially mountain sections tonight. And then with the juice we have in place, heat of the day tomorrow helps to form the storms over the mountains first, and then they roll into the valleys. And the big risk will be the possibility of flooding out there through Sunday. Now into Monday, I think things are going to quiet down a little bit. As high pressure slides closer to the state, it will limit the amount of moisture over New Mexico. We'll still see the possibility of storms, maybe just not quite as many. And as we push through here, and you can see tomorrow afternoon, we're going to blow up storms again, north scattered fashion in the metro area, and then another round will be a possibility into Sunday as well. So it's going to stay pretty active throughout the weekend here. 80s around the Durango and Pagosa Springs area, lots of thunderstorms across these portions of our viewing area. 82 Grants, 92 in Farmington, partly cloudy, afternoon thunderstorms, along with temperatures in the low 90s. Southwest going to stay active here too. Plenty of afternoon clouds, scattered storms. Actually, the storm crop's going to increase a bit over the southwest tomorrow as opposed to what we had today. Southeast is going to stay quieter, and probably some good news given what we've heard out of there recently. Up to the northeast, afternoon clouds and thunderstorms look like another good bet. Northern mountains, this is the trigger point for a lot of the storms here. Start off into the north, and then they'll roll down into the valleys, whether it be Santa Fe, Espanola, or the Albuquerque metro area. Meanwhile, down into the East Mountains, temperatures here in the low 80s, sun and clouds with scattered rain showers out there. And finally, right here in the metro, temperatures in the high 80s, partly cloudy with scattered storms in and out, and some of those could be a flood threat through the weekend. Then we go to more isolated storms Monday and Tuesday. Have to thank all of you guys who have shared all your pictures on Twitter and all the video. That's what we've been talking about the whole afternoon at KRQE, Mark.
Interesting day.
Yep.
Well, Lobos big man Alex Kirk talks about his experience at the World University Games in Russia. That's next in sports.